Whether we enjoy WWE programming or not this week, it's really hard to look someone in the face and say that it wasn't a newsworthy week across WWE programming. Each show this week had at least one major happening concerning Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. On Monday Night Raw, we seen new tag team champions crowned in the form of Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan, of all people. Now, this became because Dean Ambrose, and I'm going to use this loosely for everybody that takes Michael Cole's word as gospel. Michael Cole had stated that Dean Ambrose, and this is circulating on the internet either, which I really don't understand why people are holding this as the definite information regarding Dean Ambrose, but Michael Cole stated that Dean Ambrose would be out up to 9 months, that he will be off WWE television for 9 months. My way of looking at it was, well, they did the same thing here with Braun Strowman. Remember when Braun Strowman was injured by Roman Reigns? Braun Strowman was supposedly supposed to be out for 6 months. He came back in 2. And the reason why WWE did that is because they wanted to make his return seem even bigger. It played up to the character of, holy shit, this guy is really a monster among men. And I understood why they did it. Now, Monday Night Raw without Braun Strowman for 6 months would have been very, very bad. It would have made the show a lot worse than it is. But thankfully, he was only out for 2, and he took care of whatever he needed to take care of. And WWE seemed to manage in his absence. They're doing so as well, and they are going to do so. They pretty much have to in the absence of Dean Ambrose. Now, we will talk about Dean Ambrose in this particular episode of Off the Script. Dean Ambrose injury and the injury to his bicep, I believe. Bicep, tricep, whatever he injured, whatever he tore. Dean Ambrose and his injury has ultimately changed plans for WrestleMania. And as we will discuss in this episode, Dean Ambrose being out ruined Royal Rumble and WrestleMania plans right now. Right now. Apparently there was supposed to be, and this is from the horse's mouth, this is from Brian Alvarez of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dean Ambrose was to have a major role in the Royal Rumble. And with his injury now, that will be no more. The only thing that I could think of is that Royal Rumble, that situation that they had planned for Dean Ambrose, ultimately setting up Seth Rollins' elimination, or vice versa. Seth Rollins eliminating Dean Ambrose, or Dean Ambrose eliminating Seth Rollins from the Royal Rumble. Ultimately, getting the wheels turning for their eventual match at WrestleMania 34. But the reason why WWE went with Jason Jordan in a last-ditch effort is because I honestly believe, now I could be wrong, it wouldn't be the first time that I'm wrong, but I'm going with my gut instinct on this one. Most of the time I do not. But I'm going with my gut instinct on this one. I don't think Dean Ambrose is going to be out 9 months. The reports that I read that stated Ambrose had had surgery already, and he only tore 50% of whatever he injured, and that he was already in rehabilitation, and he was already lifting light weights. He was already back on the grind. So that means to me that right now, whatever they're doing with Jason Jordan on Monday Night Raw is only temporary. It will set up the eventual heel turn for Dean Ambrose. It's not going to happen at the Royal Rumble. They're just using Jason Jordan as a stopgap right now in between Rollins and Ambrose just until Ambrose gets back. And you know what? I don't mind it. It was the only other option for WWE at that time. It was the only thing for WWE to do, because what else could they do with Seth Rollins being that he's out? They were already telling the story, or Dean Ambrose rather, with him already out. What were they going to do with Seth Rollins? They were already telling the story of Jason Jordan and his obsession with Samoa Joe. Seth Rollins wants Samoa Joe. Everybody seemingly wants a piece of Samoa Joe. So this setup, Kurt Angle to put Jason Jordan in a tag team, something that Jason Jordan did not want because he already came from a tag team, and the reason why he moved over to Monday Night Raw was for him to start his singles career. So he's doing something that he really doesn't want to do, and his father thinks it's the best thing for him right now. Maybe it leads to Jordan versus Angle at WrestleMania. And maybe this is a way for when Ambrose comes back, they have a story already told there with Rollins kind of replacing Dean Ambrose already and winning the tag team championships with Jason Jordan. Even though it's not going to be Rollins' fault, he was thrown into that situation by Kurt Angle. He was forced to team with Jason Jordan on Monday Night Raw. He didn't expect to team with him before the show started. He didn't expect to win the tag team championships with Jason Jordan. So Dean Ambrose, all you have to do to tell that story is when Ambrose comes back, have him be a lunatic fringe and have him really go back to where he was before this Shield reunion got started. I cannot trust Seth Rollins. And you harbor those old feelings, and a heel turn is done quite easily with Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose can come back and ruin the tag team title run for Jordan and Seth Rollins because he's not there. And the Revival, I stated, could be the recipients of that, and you have two matches made right then and there. You got Angle versus Jordan, and then you got Rollins versus Ambrose at WrestleMania. All in all, I like it. All in all, I like it. On SmackDown Live, the big news coming out of SmackDown Live was the United States Championship Tournament. You guys know how I love tournaments. You guys know how I love the competitive nature of a tournament. You guys know I love how a tournament can be used to really get somebody over on the WWE roster. I love the story that's told within a tournament. You got to win 3 matches, etc., etc., etc. What I do not like is WWE making everything so goddamn predictable. Now, for the haters out there and for the skeptics out there and for the people who watch this show but overly criticize everything that I say, I have been the only one expressing. I haven't heard it anywhere else. You know, what we do here is we fantasy book, right? So when I actually get something right, it's, oh, JD was right on that. Good call on that, man. You really know your shit. It's always the people to come at me and say, well, JD thinks he's got some, inside information. He's got a God complex. He's cocky. He's conceited. He thinks he's Mr. Know-It-All. And little does he know that WWE is quite predictable at the moment. Really now, it's quite predictable. Where were you people to predict that Bobby Roode and Jinder Mahal were going to be battling out over the United States Championship? Where were you people? If it was so predictable, why didn't you say it on your podcast? Why didn't you come up with the great idea of Mahal versus Bobby Roode leading into WrestleMania? If it's so goddamn predictable, how many of you chose Dolph Ziggler to win the United States Championship? If it's so goddamn predictable. Anyway, the United States Championship Tournament. This is what I don't like from WWE. Look at this. Tell me what is wrong with that picture. Bobby Roode and Baron Corbin. We've seen that on SmackDown Live already. Bobby Roode won. He advances to the semifinals. Jinder Mahal versus Ty Dillinger. -10 Ty Dillinger, who is a Sonic spokesman for their McFlurry or whatever the fuck they're selling over there. -10 Ty Dillinger. Jinder Mahal advances to the semifinals. Look at those other 2 first-round matches. Road Dogg. Bro. What the fuck are you doing over on SmackDown Live? You mean to tell me that you can't find anybody else on the roster to make up an 8-man tournament for the United States Championship. Xavier Woods versus Aiden English. Please, I'd love to know who came up with that match. What do these two men have to do at all with the United States Championship? Wasn't Xavier Woods and Aiden English just battling it out over the Tag Team Championship? What gives them the right to battle it out over the United States Championship? Zack Ryder versus Mojo Rawley? Okay, Zack Ryder I can understand. But Mojo Rawley? We've seen this match already. How many people are going to care about this match now that it's a first-round match in a United States Championship tournament? Nobody. So you have two wasted matches here. Zack Ryder I really don't mind. But going up against Mojo Rawley again? That is the best that you could do. You know, here's a bright idea, WWE. Why don't you continue to play up the fact that Daniel Bryan is somehow showing favoritism to Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn? I don't understand that. I really don't understand why WWE didn't play up the fact and include that in the tournament. You could have put Sami Zayn in the tournament. Daniel Bryan already gave Kevin Owens a WWE, championship opportunity. Seemingly, it was a non-title match. Now he's going to be getting a WWE championship opportunity, right? He gifted him a match with the WWE champion. We all know what happens in a non-title match when the challenger defeats the champion. You're pretty much guaranteed a shot in the future at the WWE championship. So Kevin Owens more than likely is going to be AJ Styles' opponent at the Royal Rumble. Why couldn't you put Sami Zayn in the United States Championship tournament and play up the fact that you got Kevin Owens vying for the WWE Championship and Sami Zayn vying for the United States Championship? Wouldn't that tell a greater story and get under Shane McMahon's skin even more? I don't believe the lack of creativity that this company has. Or better yet, why not put both of them in the tournament? Why not put both of them in the tournament on separate sides of the tournament? Maybe in the end we get Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens for the United States Championship, and that's a way to turn Sami Zayn babyface again and get him away from Kevin Owens. Ultimately giving Shane McMahon what he wants. A team of KO and Sami disbanded. WWE could have had so much fun with this tournament, and they refused to do so. They just continued to go down the uncreative path that they are just comfortable being in. Or better yet, I've been expressing this all year. Cruiserweights aren't doing anything. You got these guys confined to a goddamn bubble on 205 Live. I would have loved to see Neville, TJP, Cedric Alexander, Rich Swann, being that he's suspended right now for the time being. You could have put any one of those guys, Hideo Itami, any one of those guys in a tournament like that and have them shine. Instead of keeping them on one show with them doing nothing, it would have offered you a little bit more option instead of what you've given us here. And why not put Rusev in the tournament over Aiden English? I don't understand that logic either. Why? It's because you don't want Rusev to advance in the first round and ultimately fight Jinder Mahal in the second round? You know how many people would have been upset? Maybe this is the reason why. You know how many people would have been upset if Jinder Mahal defeated Rusev Day? My God, there would have been riots all over social media. Rusev should have been in the tournament over Aiden English. No question. I would have enjoyed to see Rusev over Mahal. Maybe you could have given the United States Championship to Rusev the way he's going. All I know is that WWE picked the wrong villain at the wrong time in Jinder Mahal. Should have been Rusev. But now the tides have turned. Jinder Mahal is still battling it out, trying to find a spot for himself on SmackDown Live. Rusev's becoming the most popular guy on the entire roster. Maybe that's why they didn't do it. Either way, that tournament is filled with predictability up and down. The WWE set up those brackets so that it has no other alternative but to be Jinder Mahal versus Bobby Roode for the United States Championship. And then what do you do there? What do you do there? This iteration of Bobby Roode is god-awful. It is god-awful. I loved heel Bobby Roode. I loved the Bobby Roode that came out wearing $5,000 suits, snakeskin shoes. You know, he was pretty much proclaiming that this is his NXT. He's going to make it glorious. The manipulative, the cocky Bobby Roode that just got out under everybody's skin and used people to get ahead in NXT. What happened to that Bobby Roode? You think Bobby Roode looks good shaking people's hands and smiling? Carrying grandma's bags to the fucking bus? That's not the Bobby Roode I want to see. I want to see Bobby Roode who's going to kick a guy right between the fucking legs in the balls and get ahead by cheating. That's what's glorious. Nah, but WWE sees, well, this guy's theme song is over. The fans are singing it. Let's turn him babyface. Fuck out of here, man. You know what I was thinking? There's a lot of rumors going around that John Cena is going to win the Royal Rumble. How that even is remotely a good idea to anybody, I have no fucking idea. I think the only one who would actually lobby for that is Luge. That's a terrible fucking idea. I don't want to see anything John Cena related winning the Royal Rumble. I have absolutely zero interest in seeing John Cena win the Royal Rumble and go on to get his 17th title win. Nobody wants to see that. That is absolutely horrendous storytelling. That is god-awful creative for WWE. If you're named John Cena or Roman Reigns, you should have nothing to do with the Royal Rumble. You wanted John Cena versus Jinder Mahal for WrestleMania, right? It was going to be for the WWE Championship. Well, here you go. Jinder Mahal can win the United States Championship, and you can have the heroic patriot John Cena take the United States Championship from Jinder Mahal. WWE could still do that, but I doubt it after the news I'm going to read to you today concerning John Cena. That's another option for WWE and WrestleMania. But I do see Bobby Roode chasing the United States Championship to WrestleMania, and I ultimately see Bobby Roode at WrestleMania becoming the glorious United States Champion. I think he chasing the heel in Mahal is the better story than if it was the other way around. But WWE's version of a tournament here is god-awful, man. This is some of the most predictable fucking television I have ever seen. Seriously. Jinder Mahal won, Bobby Roode won. They're on the opposite end of the spectrum here. All roads lead to Mahal and Bobby Roode. Xavier Woods is going to win his match because I don't see them doing Aiden English versus Mahal. Zack Ryder, right? I don't see him winning. He doesn't need to win here. I could see Mojo Rawley winning and getting some type of rub from Bobby Roode in a decent match, and then Bobby Roode ultimately going on to the finals. Same thing for Mahal. WWE really wanted to have fun with this. They could have. They just opted to take the lazy road. That's terrible. Absolutely terrible. As far as NXT goes, NXT was the best show of the week. And NXT has the best story right now in all of wrestling. And that pertains to Johnny Gargano. And we went over this on NXT Review this week. This was a beautiful moment, and it will become even more beautiful if WWE does the right thing. Johnny Gargano pinned Aleister Black. Okay? Yes, Aleister Black was pinned. Yes, he's still undefeated in one-on-one situations. Okay? But he was pinned. Before this match, he wasn't pinned. So, Aleister Black, A, is not buried because of what happened with the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole came out and ruined his chances of becoming the number one contender. So you have a match for TakeOver Philadelphia right there, which lends to what I said a couple of weeks ago. Adam Cole continues to still be in the wrong place at the wrong time because I don't see him beating Aleister Black at TakeOver. I don't. This was supposed to be a World Championship match. That was supposed to be where the direction was going. Or at least with Drew McIntyre. But Adam Cole, seemingly with the injury to McIntyre, has taken 3 or 4 steps back. Now he continues to be, and will remain to be, in the wrong place at the wrong time. But Aleister Black losing on Wednesday night is a good thing. People are not seeing the bigger picture here. Johnny Gargano is the biggest babyface in all of WWE. Johnny Gargano is the closest thing to Daniel Bryan that they've had since Daniel Bryan. Johnny Gargano is the one true remaining babyface, like real true babyface. And I mean that in a way where he's the underdog in every situation. He is absolutely the odds-on underdog every single time. And the fact that he comes through and overcomes all the odds. WWE does not have anybody like that, and they haven't had anybody like that since Daniel Bryan. I told you time and time again, and I've said it for the last couple of weeks, Aleister Black doesn't need to be undefeated. Having Aleister Black undefeated actually does worse, and it makes WWE's creative harder for NXT. Now that he's been pinned, their jobs become a little bit more easier. Aleister Black has proven to be a beast already. Aleister Black has proven to be the biggest thing in NXT right now. He doesn't need to be undefeated. You don't need to handcuff yourself by booking this guy in every situation to have him win. So now you free yourself to do other things with him finally being pinned. And the fact that he's so great at what he does, he doesn't need a championship to warrant everything that he's done already. People's logic is skewed. A championship really doesn't need to go to somebody to prove their worth all the time. Aleister Black has proven that he doesn't need the NXT championship. I would never give someone a world championship and bypass a greater story to be told. Why would I ever sacrifice that? Johnny Gargano's story in NXT has been one that I've been following very closely. And if WWE doesn't make the decision to put the title on Gargano, they are missing the entire point of why wrestling is fucking incredible. When you have something like this, which really doesn't come around all that often with Johnny Gargano. When you have something like this pretty much present itself to you, knocking on the front door, saying, "Hi, I'm here. I'm Johnny Gargano, and this story that I'm telling is going to bring tears to wrestling fans' eyes when the culmination of it happens in Philadelphia." Why would you ever pass on that? This is a beautiful moment ready to be told. Royal Rumble weekend. And WWE would be doing the absolute biggest mistake in 2018 if they do not give the title to Johnny Gargano. And that is only the beginning of the story. When that moment happens, it's only the beginning. Now, we don't know what's going to happen. I can sit here and tell you what I think is right. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to happen. None of us know if Tommaso Ciampa is ready to come back. We don't know if he's ready to even come back and interfere in this match, setting up something for WrestleMania. We don't even know if he's ready to go by WrestleMania. We don't know what his prognosis is. All I know is, and I'm not even thinking about Ciampa, the core story that's told there. If Johnny Gargano doesn't win this championship, WWE is not listening to its fans. WWE doesn't understand the true essence of wrestling. And WWE will have made the biggest mistake in all of 2018 already in the first month. Johnny Gargano is your next NXT champion if WWE loves professional wrestling. This storyline is why I love professional wrestling. Andrade Cien Almas is great at what he does. He won the title, that was the plan, fine. But Andrade Cien Almas, for the time being, is your NXT champion. It enhances him just a little bit. But all in all, he is nothing but an interim champion. He is nothing but a transitional champion to get that title on the guy that really needs it. A guy that the fans want to see. WWE seemingly has gone away from giving the fans what they want. They're always coming out and saying and giving you the political answer of, oh, we listen to the fans. The fans are the heartbeat of WWE programming. Well, if that is the goddamn fucking case, then listen to what the fans are asking for. Johnny Gargano is what the fans are asking for. How could you watch NXT on Wednesday and see the reaction that man got and say to yourself, well, we're going to have Andrade Cien Almas win? That doesn't make any sense to me. That doesn't make any sense to me. And whether the match with Ciampa happens at WrestleMania or SummerSlam, or better yet, in Chicago, where all of this broke down during Money in the Bank weekend, you have yourself fucking money ready to be printed. That's the story. That's the story. With Gargano winning the championship, Ciampa wanted Gargano to suffer. He wanted Gargano to suffer without him. Now that Gargano was suffering and he's finally pulling himself out from the depths of what Gargano had to go through and what Ciampa put him through, now that he's finally rising from the ashes after what Ciampa put him through, what do you think Ciampa's doing sitting at home? He's waiting for that moment for Gargano to win the WWE NXT Championship so that he can come in and swoop on in and do the same thing that he did in Chicago this year. Continuation. It's storyline continuation that needs to be told. And I don't care what anybody says. Johnny Gargano needs to win the NXT Championship. Simple as that. And whether you want to have him go against Aleister Black at WrestleMania weekend after what we seen on Wednesday, look at how the fucking fans reacted to Aleister Black and Johnny Gargano in that ring. You mean to tell me they won't tear that fucking place down in New Orleans? Come on, man. Save Ciampa for WrestleMania. Save Ciampa for WrestleMania. Have Gargano win the championship and give me the feel-good moment. If you want to have Ciampa ruin the championship moment for him at WrestleMania and give it to Black, then fine. Better yet, you want to have Ciampa come out and attack him the same way he did in Chicago at WrestleMania with Gargano still the champion? Fine. Either way, whether it's for the championship or not, Ciampa versus Gargano is where we're headed, and it's going to be absolutely fucking fantastic. Those are my opening thoughts for the podcast. I think that's the new direction of where I'm going to go when I start off the script each and every week. I'm going to take the biggest things from Monday Night Raw and go over them again with you to start each and every show on Friday. So let me know what you guys think about that. But now that we got all of that out, and I got all that off of my chest, and those are my opening thoughts, why don't we hit the introduction and let us get on with the news and rumors right here on episode 202. This is part number 1 for your Friday right here on Off the Script. What is going on, guys? JD from New York here. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel this Friday. This is episode 202, part number 1 for your Friday, December 29th, 2017. And this right here is the number 1 professional wrestling podcast right here on YouTube.com for everything WWE. This is Off the Script, man. Lots of news to get into today, mainly concerning John Cena and what Dave Meltzer is reporting. John Cena's match at WrestleMania 34 will be bigger than the WWE Championship title match. Don't know what that could mean, but I will give you my opinion on it right here on the podcast. Also, Dean Ambrose and his injury has changed some big Royal Rumble and WrestleMania plans. WWE became Santa Claus on Monday and Tuesday. What did they do for all the wrestlers involved on Raw and SmackDown for the holiday seasons since they could not be with their families? Also, what I can't wait to talk about, Kenny Omega. You know, the IWGP United States champion, the one that's going to be going up against Chris Jericho at Wrestle Kingdom 12 in just a few days. Yeah, that Kenny Omega, the cleaner. He says, and I quote, "The WWE is soulless." It is hard to argue with what the man says. So we're going to go over all that today right here on Off the Script. Got news from my brother. We are going to have theme music very, very soon. Recording will be commencing, I believe, this week, if I'm not mistaken. He texted me yesterday while I was half asleep. He states, "Tony will be starting the intro song soon. The intro to the intro will sound so epic on actual guitars instead of on a computerized program that my brother works on to write the music. I've been dying to hear it." So that is the last message he sent me as far as Off the Script goes for the new theme music. And then at that point, I'll have a new intro made instead of the intro that you guys just seen. So things are coming along quite nicely for the podcast going into 2018. I want to thank everybody for an amazing year, man. Off the Script has remained steady. There's a reason why I say Off the Script is the number one podcast when it comes to WWE on YouTube. I'm not sitting here proclaiming that I'm the number one podcast in the land or, I'm the best at what I do. I am certainly not. But as far as within the community and what we are all doing, I honestly do believe that this show has the biggest voice, has the biggest reach, and has the biggest impact on everybody within the community. And you can't take that away from me, man. So I know what I do here. I know the numbers that I do. I know the impact and the reach that this show has. That's why I always state that this is the number one professional wrestling podcast on YouTube.com because of what it does for people's lives and how people want this show each and every single week and the effect that it has on people, man. So thank you guys so much for an amazing 2017. I'm only going to enhance this show in 2018. And 100,000 subscribers is my ultimate goal for next year. And that silver play button hopefully will be hanging right on this wall here. So that is the goal for 2018. I want to thank all my sponsors for a great year. That Wrestling Club, thank you so much for sponsoring the show all year round. Pro Wrestling Crate, Pro Wrestling Tees, thank you guys so much. Those two companies are absolutely fucking awesome. I want to thank Audible for all the the hard work that you guys have done to just reach the podcast and get your brand out through the podcast, man. Those people have done an amazing job and trusting me with their brand. So if you guys want to check out Audible, audibletrial.com/offthescript for your free audio book. They're also going to give you 30 days to try out their service free. The one audio book comes with signing up. You guys got over 180,000 choices to choose from. So if you are a new listener and have not signed up already, you guys can take advantage of that. It's a great way to get something for free just for listening, and it's a great way to support the show as well. Obviously, thatwrestlingclub.com, the unboxings that we do, ProWrestlingCrate.com, Barbershop Window, which is an affiliate of Pro Wrestling Tees. That's where I sell my t-shirts, which you'll see right here. They get off my TV designs. You guys can go get your t-shirts. Thank you to everybody that has bought a new design. The new bench t-shirt has sold amazingly. The Jinder Mahal shirt has even done very well. So thank you guys so much, man, for supporting the show and wearing the brand outside to support the podcast, man. You guys are beasts. That is barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. I do have some new designs brewing. I have a Do It for Roman t-shirt, hopefully in the works. And I am going to hopefully do a new design of the JD is Negan as well, being that was the most popular shirt that I've ever come up with. So we'll have fun with that as well going into 2018. Only want you guys to look the best when wearing Off the Script merchandise, man. Another sponsor I want to thank is Wrestle Crate, man. These guys, I remember reaching out to the old owners, man, and I believe at like maybe 30,000 subscribers, somewhere around there. And I was like, shit, I know the power of the podcast. I was really confident in the podcast. And I was like, shit, this is a small company. I want to help them get off the ground. They don't even have to pay me. Send me a box every month. I'll promote it. I'll unbox it. I'll type it up. And the company got turned over, and we kind of lost contact a little bit. And then the new owners reached out to me, and they still wanted me on board. And they've been supporting the show ever since, man. And the new owners have done such a good job. They're very active on social media, and they have very, very good customer service. And they've supported the show since the new owners took over, man. And they personally reached out to me and said that they wanted me a part of their brand. And I greatly appreciate that, and I appreciate all the hard work that they do to give you guys quality content each and every single month. So we're going to unbox Wrestle Crate today. You guys can follow them on Twitter, Wrestle Crate USA on Twitter, and then obviously WrestleCrate.com. You guys can use the coupon code JDSENTME, all capital letters at checkout. You're going to see at checkout a nice little space for a coupon code. Type that in. You're going to save yourself 10% off your first Wrestle Crate for the new year, man. So make sure you guys take advantage of that while you can. So let's open this bad boy up before we get into the news, man. I'm hearing the December crate for Christmas was pretty beastly, and it was Mick Foley inspired, I heard. Let's see what we got here, man. Strong Style brand. Don't know what this is, but I'll probably wear it around the house. It's got candy canes wrapped in barbed wire. North Pole Division. So there you go, man. I'll probably wear that around the house. I don't like wearing red out. I don't think red looks good on me. But coincidentally, my first Mustang was red. And then I got rid of it and I traded it in for the black one. So there you go. This is pretty cool, man. This is pretty cool. I don't read, but this is fucking awesome, man. Saint Mick Foley, #1 New York Times bestseller, author, My Journey from a Hardcore Legend to Santa's Jolly Elf. That's pretty fucking sweet right there, man. This book itself, it's even got the price on it, $25. This book is worth more than the entire crate, bro. So your value comes. If you're a fan of Mick Foley, your value comes in the form of this book right here, man. That's fucking awesome. I don't read. Maybe I should, but we'll see what happens, man. I don't know. That's a nice little souvenir, man, to anybody that loves collecting anything wrestling related. We got a stocking here. I don't know what the hell does this say. I can't read. It's still real to me, damn it. It's still real to me. A stocking right there. Christmas is over. I hate Christmas, but maybe that'll come in handy next year. What is this? Brick-a-Mania collector card. This is Brick Foley. What the hell is this? Oh, this is a whole pack of cards. This is a whole pack of cards. What do we got here? Oh my God, man. These are collector's cards in the form of Lego characters. Look at this, man. Bam Bam Bigelow, and I'm dropping the box while I'm showing you guys this. Bam Bam Bigelow, Roddy Piper, Owen Hart. Who is that? Hart Brick Kid, Shawn Michaels, Macho Man Randy Savage, The Ultimate Warrior, and then Eddie Guerrero, man. Look at that. Yokozuna, Big Boss Man, and Mick Foley. That is fucking nice, man. Those are sweet cards. That is fucking cool, man. That is cool stuff right there. Another pin. Lapel, yeah. 2 barbed wire baseball bats, man. Can't get any more Mick Foley than that. Barbed wire baseball bat. Tales from the Road. Headlocked Comics. That Yellow Journalist. I don't read. Probably give that away in my first Patreon giveaway this month. So there you go. Oh my God, man. I might give this away too. This is actually a pretty cool autograph. This is actually a pretty cool autograph, man. I'm not a fan of these guys, but the outline of this is pretty fucking awesome. Crime Time. Shad and JTG, man. Look at that. And it's in the form of a $100 bill. That's one of the nicest autographs I think we've got but two guys I really don't care about. So there you go, man. WrestleCrate.com. If you guys want to go check that stuff out. And I want to thank those guys again for supporting the podcast all year round. WrestleCrate.com. I'm fucking a complete mess over here. Let me clean this shit up. Let me throw this shit over here. Get over here so we can talk about some wrestling news, man. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications so you guys know when I do upload, which is usually 6 of the 7 days a week. I've been going hard for the last week and a half to close out the year, but normally it's 6-7 days a week. You'll get something, whether it's video game related, wrestling related, news and rumors, off the script extra. When we don't do the podcast every Friday, I usually throw a little extra off the script out there, which is a little shorter version of off the script, more concise, right to the point. It is what it is, man. But thank you guys for all the support all year round. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter, social media, YouTube, and make sure you guys check out all the beautiful sponsors that are a part of this show, and hopefully more to come in 2018. We are going to start off with the big story here, man, of John Cena and what Dave Meltzer is reporting for his match at WrestleMania being bigger than the WWE Championship. I don't know about all that, but apparently WWE has plans for John Cena already, as long as they do not include winning the Royal Rumble. As WWE approaches WrestleMania season, more matches are going to be speculated and eventually booked for the company's biggest show of the year. One match we already know is pretty much locked. It's not even announced, but we all know where they're going with this. We're not stupid. The Universal Championship match between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns is pretty much a lock for the main event of the show, because Vince McMahon will have it no other way. He hasn't learned his lesson in 4 years. You think all of a sudden he's going to give up on this shit now as we head into the Royal Rumble? Of course not. Another match, which many expected to be on the show, was, for some reason, John Cena versus AJ Styles for the WWE title so that Cena could win his 17th world title, breaking Ric Flair's record. Now, why would anybody in WWE think that is a good idea? We've seen that how many times already? What more could those two guys do that they have not done already? It would be like beating a dead horse. There is literally nothing for those guys to do. And John Cena already beat AJ Styles for the WWE Championship just this past January at the Royal Rumble. Why would anyone want to see that again at WrestleMania? You're just devaluing the card if you're going to give me that same shit again. It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. I said it in the beginning. I don't want anything to do with John Cena winning the Royal Rumble. That is terrible, terrible creative. Absolutely god-awful. Now, if they somehow do go with this, I'd much rather John Cena win the Royal Rumble than Roman Reigns. I'm just throwing that out there right now. But still, either way you look at it, it's just bad creative. The leader of the C Nation, I hate the way these dirt sheets word these things. Who refers to John Cena as the leader of the C Nation? Not me. Maybe if you're a fucking 6-year-old clown. Not me. Now, Cena getting into the WWE Championship match at WrestleMania in New Orleans would have to be through winning the Royal Rumble, because obviously it's not going to be through the Elimination Chamber. Because if Reigns is not winning the Royal Rumble, then he's certainly winning the Elimination Chamber. Can't have John Cena go to WrestleMania by any other means except if it's through the Royal Rumble. And again, I ask that question. Why would you even contemplate booking John Cena to win the Royal Rumble over, I don't know, Shinsuke Nakamura, and actually giving me a real world championship? Now, reports are to be believed. If reports are to be believed, this is no longer happening. Okay? So I might have scared you a little bit. I'm getting a little riled up just at the thought of WWE even thinking about this. But, according to Dave Meltzer, he thinks that this is no longer happening. Now, in the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Cena will not be facing AJ Styles at WrestleMania 34, as he is, and I quote, in a much bigger match than Styles at WrestleMania. He also said, while he doesn't know exactly who the opponent will be, of course, I have a better chance of finding out who the opponent will be with the Magic 8 Ball, This is Dave Meltzer. This is how Dave Meltzer gets his news, through the Magic 8 Ball, He doesn't know who his opponent will be. I'm going to tell you who his opponent's going to be. I don't need Dave Meltzer. I don't need Dave Meltzer to figure out who the opponent's going to be for John Cena. He was told, Meltzer was, that the match will be clear within a few weeks. It's going to be clear by the time we hit Raw 25 in New York City. That's when it's going to become clear. And it's going to be The Undertaker. Do you want to know why it's going to be The Undertaker? Because there's no other reason why it shouldn't. WWE has name-dropped The Undertaker all year. All year. Whether it's Reigns saying he retired The Undertaker, whether it's John Cena calling The Undertaker a battered veteran with a bad hip. Remember that one? That's all the reason you need for The Undertaker to come back. And after what Jerry Lawler said about what he's seen from The Undertaker at Survivor Series while they were sitting in the back watching the show on a big screen, he was sitting with Kane and Jerry Lawler, and John Cena walked right on by. He looked back and he said, "Well, that's pretty cool." Jerry Lawler documented this on his podcast, Dinner with the King. And if John Cena has any say in this at all, obviously he wants The Undertaker. I think John Cena, honestly, would bypass, and I would too if I'm John Cena. I would bypass a WWE Championship match right now for a shot at The Undertaker at WrestleMania. John Cena can win the WWE Championship at any event. It doesn't matter if it's at WrestleMania or not. Winning it at WrestleMania isn't going to make it a bigger deal as if he wins it at SummerSlam. Who cares? If he wins it, he wins it. It's going to be the same impact if he wins it anywhere else. It doesn't need to happen at WrestleMania because it's record-breaking. That's some stupid cliche you guys need to fucking get over. All these big moments don't need to happen at WrestleMania. You're booking yourself into fucking stupidity by pigeonholing yourself that way. Now, what does The Undertaker want? That's the question. Does The Undertaker want John Cena? Or does he want Braun Strowman? Because reports are saying right now that Vince McMahon is under the assumption that The Undertaker is coming back. Vince McMahon has already given directive to The Undertaker that Vince McMahon wants an answer from Mark Calloway, from The Undertaker, before the Royal Rumble. That's coming from Richard Gray of Wrestling News World. Richard Gray of Wrestling News World is also reporting that The Undertaker wants Braun Strowman at WrestleMania. I don't see why anybody would want to see that match either. After what I've seen from The Undertaker at WrestleMania 33 against Roman Reigns, I don't want to see The Undertaker at WrestleMania, period. I'm over The Undertaker being at WrestleMania. I'm over The Undertaker, period. Never mind at WrestleMania. I've been over The Undertaker since the streak died at WrestleMania 30. You know when this John Cena Undertaker match should have happened? It should have happened at WrestleMania 30. Instead of burying Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania 30 against John Cena, you should have booked The Undertaker versus Cena at WrestleMania with the streak still intact. The amount of saltiness, the amount of sweat that would have been accumulated worldwide when John Cena delivers AA after AA after AA in that match. And The Undertaker kicks out, leaving people to wonder, will John Cena, the man we all hate, will John Cena break The Undertaker's undefeated streak at WrestleMania? They missed the boat. They missed the boat. Now, instead, they booked Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar in a match where The Undertaker got a concussion, and they gave it to Lesnar, and the match was terrible. And the streak ended in the most miserable way possible. Now, that obviously led to Brock Lesnar going on one of the most dominant runs in the history of this company, destroying John Cena at SummerSlam that year for the WWE Championship, ultimately giving it to Seth Rollins in a cash-in at WrestleMania 31. That was great. That Brock Lesnar run was fucking fantastic, and I didn't mind it. This Brock Lesnar run, had that great match with AJ Styles, had that decent match with Samoa Joe in the build with Samoa Joe. Other than that, this has been very underwhelming for Brock Lesnar. But that was the year that The Undertaker and John Cena should have happened. And then WWE had an opportunity to do it again at 33, and they didn't do it. They didn't do it. It was supposed to be John Cena versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania 33. Vince McMahon wanted Roman Reigns versus The Undertaker. It was supposed to be The Miz versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the Intercontinental Championship. Nakamura was supposed to make his debut at WrestleMania and win the Intercontinental Championship because Daniel Bryan and The Miz had that feud going on, if you guys remember. And The Miz was going to have a match at WrestleMania, and his opponent was going to be an unannounced opponent. And Daniel Bryan was going to appoint him an opponent that night, and it was going to be Shinsuke Nakamura. And Nakamura was going to win the Intercontinental Championship on his first night. That's the way it should be. But WWE seemingly just rerouted plans. I don't even know how we went from that to John Cena and The Miz with their wives, and then Cena proposing, and then we got Roman Reigns versus The Undertaker. On what planet would anybody take what we got over what was planned? It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Now, with Royal Rumble this year, Nakamura is the only winner that I want to talk about. I don't want to hear anybody else. I don't want to hear anybody else's name being mentioned. Nakamura is the only one who should even be in discussion to win the Royal Rumble. Because AJ Styles and Nakamura, I'm pretty confident at this point of the game where I think it's going to happen. It needs to happen. It needs to happen. And WWE, I'm sure, knows that. Why you would even bypass that match for John Cena AJ Styles match that we've seen already and they've given us their best this year, I don't want to see it again. There's no way that it's going to top the last match. So, Undertaker wants Strowman. Vince wants Undertaker to come up with a yes or a no as if he's going to be at WrestleMania before the Royal Rumble. Cena wants The Undertaker. Or WWE could seemingly just do a tag team match. I don't know what condition The Undertaker's going to be in. For all I know, he's going to look the same way he looked at WrestleMania 33. Battered and beaten with a bad hip. Do you honestly think WWE is going to just write Kane off television going into WrestleMania? You know Vince McMahon loves Kane. You know Vince McMahon's trying to book Kane as strong as possible. I could still see WWE pushing Kane down our throats to give him one last WrestleMania run, one last WrestleMania moment, right? Maybe The Undertaker is better off in a tag team match at WrestleMania. And the only partner that I could see that would even fit the mold would be Kane. What if you do Kane still feuding with Braun Strowman? And Kane, knowing that he can't beat Braun Strowman and he can't take down the monster among men, what if the Brothers of Destruction get back together? And what if Braun Strowman, who is in need of a partner, enlists John Cena as his partner? You know? Or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe Braun Strowman shouldn't be seeking anybody's help because he's the monster among men. What if John Cena kind of appoints himself as Braun Strowman's partner? What if we get Braun Strowman and John Cena versus The Undertaker and Kane at WrestleMania 34? And that would be the send-off for The Undertaker and Kane. Do you honestly think that Undertaker and John Cena are going to deliver anything that we are going to be talking about for the next few years in their current state? How well do you think The Undertaker is going to perform after what we've seen at 33? We don't know if he's gotten surgery or not. You know, we can hear all these stories about how great The Undertaker looks. Looking great is one thing. Moving in the ring is another. Now, John Cena really hasn't been on top of his game, and I don't trust John Cena working with anybody that's not named AJ Styles or someone of that caliber. You expect John Cena to have a good match with an Undertaker who can barely move? Look what Roman Reigns did. That match was absolutely dreadful. It was an abomination. It was an embarrassment for WrestleMania. And you want to put The Undertaker in the ring with John Cena? Someone who can't lead? No matter how good The Undertaker is, and no matter how good of a ring general The Undertaker is, The Undertaker with 2 bad hips? Nah, bro, I'm going to pass. The tag team match might be the best situation for both Cena and The Undertaker right now. Meltzer said that the only names he could think of right now to face The Undertaker, or to face Cena, are A, The Undertaker, B, Batista, C, Goldberg, and for whatever reason, people are reporting Hulk Hogan. I mean, are we booking a WWE 2K18 virtual video game, or are we booking real life? Who on this fucking planet would want to see Hulk Hogan in a wrestling match in 2018? I sit here and complain about Glenn Jacobs every single week. You want to see Terry Bollea in a match in 2018 against John Cena? This ain't Skydome and Dwayne Johnson. It's not going to have the same effect. Please, I'll pass. Goldberg? Do you see any excitement coming off my body for that match? No. Who would be excited about that match? 5 minutes? Goldberg can't even last 5 minutes. You're going to put him in a match with John Cena? Batista? That's just saying, hey, we're going to go out and sign another big name free agent, a.k.a. movie star, and we're going to put him against our biggest guy. No story behind it. The Undertaker is the only one that makes sense, but I just gave you every reason under the sun why I don't want to see it, and why you shouldn't want to see it. Now, that just leaves The Undertaker, Batista, and Goldberg right now, because Hogan, I mean, after everything that Hogan went through and the age that is Hulk Hogan, I don't see why anybody would want to see him in the ring. Why WWE would put him back in the ring at all, I don't know. But considering how fans have been begging for this match for so many years, and the time is running out, seemingly, for this to happen, you would think the rumored big match for Cena at WrestleMania 34 is going to be against The Undertaker, especially with The Undertaker going to be at WrestleMania, well, not WrestleMania, but Raw 25. He is going to be there. You're not going to book a character like The Undertaker, right, to be on Raw 25 if The Undertaker's not going to be there for business purposes. What are you going to bring The Undertaker to do what? You're going to have him come out and speak to the fans about how important Raw is to him? You don't give a fuck. It's not The Undertaker's character. That's not that's not the motto of The Undertaker. Undertaker's going to be there because he's got business to attend to. He's not going to be there to celebrate. He's not going to be there to drink a glass of champagne. He's not going to be there to fucking hold balloons like a fucking dumbass. Raw 25, He's not going to be there to fucking celebrate. The dead man is going to be there to be digging holes and taking souls. So, there's no other person but The Undertaker for John Cena. Now, matches against Batista and Goldberg obviously would raise eyebrows. It would generate interest for the WWE. But a match between Cena and The Undertaker right now, seemingly this is it. If you don't do it this year, it's done and over with. So they should not, if they want to, should not pass on the opportunity. It is widely believed by many fans that The Undertaker retired from wrestling after leaving his iconic hat, coat, and gloves in the middle of the ring following his match with Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 33. However, WWE never officially announced his retirement, leaving the door open for another match in the future. It is expected that some angles for the top WrestleMania matches will be shot at the Raw 25 anniversary show on January 22nd, and it will feature The Undertaker, Kevin Nash, Shawn Michaels, amongst others. So this could be where the WWE finally sets the wheels in motion for Cena and The Undertaker at WrestleMania. So the way I'm looking at it now, I don't want to think ahead because I mentioned this in passing. With these big events, Okay, this is the biggest negative about the brand split. When you got WrestleMania and you got shows like this and you got shows like SummerSlam, right? You got WrestleMania and SummerSlam. There's too many WWE superstars on both rosters to even come up with enough matches. Even with the amount of time that these shows are given, you're still having a difficult time to book matches for these shows. So I'm going to come up with a rough idea for WrestleMania right now. I'm not going to go over the entire card because I don't know where they're going with this. But this is how I'd book WrestleMania right now. Obviously, we got Reigns and Lesnar for the Universal Championship. AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the WWE Championship. You got those two world titles out of the way. Those are easy, okay? Now, I don't know what we have planned for The Undertaker or John Cena. I don't. And I really don't. I wish WWE would get over this fucking Kane bullshit. Kane doesn't need to be on WrestleMania, okay? He doesn't need to be on anything, period. If they go with Cena and The Undertaker, what do you do with Braun Strowman? Because it is rumored that Undertaker wants Braun Strowman. What do you do with Braun Strowman? I would honestly have Roman drop the Intercontinental Championship to Samoa Joe at the Royal Rumble. I would have Joe, the new Intercontinental Champion, and I would have Joe and Strowman one-on-one at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental Championship. That's what I'd do. If WWE wants to go with Cena and The Undertaker. If not, then I'm guessing we're going to get Roman as the IC Championship going into his match with Brock Lesnar, and we're going to get some sort of tag team match with Strowman and Cena versus the Brothers of Destruction. So either way could work. But I would like to see Joe and Strowman battle it out over the Intercontinental Championship. I think those two could have a hell of a match at WrestleMania. Bobby Roode versus Jinder Mahal for the United States Championship. As far as what we got going on for the tag team championships on both Raw and SmackDown, it's kind of difficult to foresee what would happen on Monday Night Raw. I really don't know. Because there really isn't any tag teams on Monday Night Raw right now. SmackDown's a little bit more clearer. I would wait to have the Usos drop the tag team championships at WrestleMania. I would actually give that nod to Rusev Day. I would have the titles change hands at WrestleMania. Rusev and Aiden English get the big win at WrestleMania over the Usos. I don't know where Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn fit. I don't know where Seth Rollins is going to be if Dean Ambrose is not back. I don't know where Jason Jordan's going to fit. I don't know if Triple H is going to come back. I don't know if Kurt Angle is going to wrestle. Well, I don't know. I really don't know. The Women's Championship, obviously, I would have Asuka win the championship from either Paige or Alexa Bliss, one or the other. The Raw Women's Championship, that would be that. SmackDown Women's Championship, I'd go with Charlotte versus Becky. That's the biggest match you could do over there. WrestleMania right now is looking like a clusterfuck, and these types of shows are clusterfucks because there's so much talent that WWE doesn't know what to do with. And just by that, I'm leaving out Baron Corbin, I'm leaving out Dolph Ziggler, I'm leaving out Sami Zayn, I'm leaving out Kevin Owens, I'm leaving out The New Day. It's like, with all these wrestlers, you're forced to book multi-man matches. You're forced to book fatal 4-ways and fatal 5-ways and battle royals. And then the option of the pre-show comes up. And then people don't want to be on the pre-show because they're not wrestling in front of a large capacity crowd. They're not getting the payday that they normally get for being on the main show because the pre-show matches don't appear on the DVD box sets. It's a mess. It really is a mess. That's why I'm not excited about WrestleMania. I'm not excited about these big events. I'm not excited about WrestleMania and SummerSlam anymore. So, those are the ways I'm thinking for John Cena and The Undertaker. It's either Cena, Undertaker one-on-one, but why would you want to see it after what we've seen? Especially the way Cena's been wrestling lately. Can Cena lead a injured and battered veteran like The Undertaker with 2 bad hips? Do you put him in a tag team match instead? I don't know. And if you do one-on-one with Cena and The Undertaker, where does that leave Braun Strowman? So we'll see what happens, man. It's a big, big, big clusterfuck right now for WrestleMania, and I don't even think WWE knows what they want to do. Speaking of WWE, for Christmas, this is pretty nice of the company, man. You know, it is a nice gesture, and I'm sure the superstars appreciated it, and it alleviated some of the time that they had to be away from their family. I still don't believe that Finn Balor was asked to fly all the way overseas from being with his family to fly to Chicago on Monday to ultimately go one-on-one with Curt Hawkins. You had a man leave his family to work a match that lasted a minute with Curt Hawkins. I mean, if I'm Finn Balor, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I got a Guinness in my hand and I'm hanging out with my mother, and you want me to fly to Chicago to work a match with Curt Hawkins? Holy shit. Now, WWE, they gave back to everybody that worked on Monday and Tuesday. Although wrestlers would have rather been home for Christmas and Christmas Eve, WWE tried to make things better for them by doing something really nice for them. There was a Christmas party after Monday Night Raw with all the crew and talent invited, and WWE paid for the hotel costs for everybody on Monday and Tuesday. This is according to PW Insider. It was something the company did as a way to say thank you to the wrestlers. Typically, wrestlers have to fly out on Christmas Day for the annual post-Christmas show at Madison Square Garden. This year, they were gone on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and the day after Christmas, and the rest of the week until next week's TV tapings. So it was a nice gesture by the company. For those that have asked, the live Christmas show was something that USA Network wanted. It wasn't WWE wanting to do it. They got to listen to the suits in USA. They wanted it because they wanted live programming on their network, similar to how ABC airs live NBA games on Christmas Day. Next year, Christmas falls on a Tuesday. So we'll probably get a live SmackDown Live on Tuesday. Possibly, Raw might be taped for the holiday. I don't know. We don't know, but probably not. I think we'll probably get a live Monday Night Raw, being that it's on Christmas Eve. So we'll see what happens. That's a nice gesture, man. I wanted to report that because a lot of people were wondering what the hell was going on with all that. It was USA's directive, USA Network, and then WWE to compensate and kind of alleviate everybody's pain. They paid for the hotels on Monday and Tuesday, and they had a nice little Christmas party. So there you go, man. Nice little gesture by the WWE. Certainly one that they did not have to extend to all of their employees. Dean Ambrose. His injury has changed some big Royal Rumble plans as well as WrestleMania plans. Dean Ambrose was a member of The Shield and running strong as he and Seth Rollins headed into the Royal Rumble with big things on the way. It turns out WWE really did have to change up some big plans when Ambrose went out of action due to a torn tricep, and now he could be out for up to 9 months, and I use that loosely. I do not think Dean Ambrose will be out for 9 months. Brian Alvarez, someone who I enjoy listening to, commented on the situation during Wrestling Observer Live, where he discussed exactly what Dean Ambrose's injury meant for WWE's creative. And I quote, this is from Brian Alvarez, "God bless Ambrose. He's worked more dates in the entire company for a couple of years now. He did more matches than anybody, but the body itself, no matter how slow and soft you work, the human body can only take so much, and unfortunately, he finally tore his triceps tendon, and he's going to be out." And again, I use this term loosely because everybody's mentioning it, 9 months. He continues on and says, "They changed Royal Rumble plans. Obviously, they change plans all the time. There was an idea for the Royal Rumble for Ambrose to be in a very prominent position. And I'm assuming that would be getting the wheels turned on his heel turn with Seth Rollins. I know Dave Meltzer, there were plans for WrestleMania that involved him in a fairly prominent position against Seth Rollins, is what I'm assuming. Now that he's out of action, nobody knows. So that sucks for him, but hey, sometimes you just need a break. Dean Ambrose's injury might be awful and unfortunate news, but at least he's going to get some rest. Or at least Ambrose should be taking all the advantages of time off the road to relax a little bit. After all, if anyone deserves it, Dean Ambrose does. It's just a shame his vacation had to come in the form of a career-halting injury. If this was anybody else but Dean Ambrose, I think the individual injured would have to worry, because normally when someone is out for an extended period of time like that, their position isn't always readily available when they do come back. But being that Dean Ambrose is A, the Cal Ripken Jr. of WWE, B, has given so much to this company already in the 5 years he's been on the main roster, and C, the fact that he isn't Dean Ambrose and he is working alongside Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, I don't think Dean Ambrose has anything to worry about when he comes back. He's going to pretty much pick up the pieces right where they were left off when he comes back. So it's not like he's going to be losing his spot anytime soon. It's Dean Ambrose we're talking about. It's the Shield we're talking about. Dean Ambrose has nothing to worry about. He's getting paid to sit home. He's going through rehabilitation. He gets to spend more time with his wife. And he gets to rest his body. We get to see a fresh Dean Ambrose instead of the Dean Ambrose that we've been getting, who's lazy, who lacks motivation, who goes through the motions each and every single week, who needs to desperately change up his repertoire of moves. This could be a good thing for Dean Ambrose. And I do still think, I could be wrong, I do still think that Ambrose is going to be out for just a few months, not 9 months. And I still think that he's going to try and come back by WrestleMania. And I do think we're still going to get Rollins versus Ambrose at WrestleMania. That's my prediction. If not, I don't know at all what you do with Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. I don't. Seth Rollins, at that point, would probably be like a lost puppy looking for its owner. They have no plans whatsoever. Moving on here, man. I think we're going to end with this one. How much time we got left? And we're about 44 minutes in. We're going to end with this one right here. And then we'll pick up tomorrow on Saturday, and then we'll close the year out with my top 10 matches of 2017, because I know you guys are looking forward to that. Kenny Omega says the WWE is soulless. Kenny Omega is at the top of the wrestling world right now as we head to Wrestle Kingdom 12. As he puts the IWGP United States Championship on the line against Chris Jericho, I will be watching it. I won't be watching it live, but I'll be watching it when I wake up in the morning, because I'm not waking up, no matter who it is, to watch wrestling at 5 a.m. But as he looks towards his future and sees others before him that have taken the leap to WWE, Kenny Omega, he will eventually take the leap to WWE, believe me. Might not be now, but he's coming. He might be thinking twice about trusting his career with Vince McMahon and the company. Well, I don't blame him. Look at what happened to Sting. Sting didn't want to come to WWE because of Vince McMahon. He didn't trust Vince McMahon on how to book the Sting character. The Cleaner spoke to Sports Illustrated about the King of Strong Style, Shinsuke Nakamura, and his booking in WWE. But although he is happy for his success, but he had to note that his booking has been pretty uneventful so far. This is what Kenny Omega said about Shinsuke Nakamura's booking on SmackDown Live. I'm happy for the response that he's getting, of course. And all of us in New Japan knew when he left that he was going to get over with his charisma. But when I see Nakamura in WWE now, it's hard for me to say he's done anything compelling in the ring since he's been there, which is a shame. It will just take one right story, one right moment, and one right opponent, and then people will be captivated by everything that he does. Right now, he hasn't had that. And he's right. He's right on that. WWE has dropped the ball on Shinsuke Nakamura. They have done literally everything to make him feel not special anymore. He was special in NXT. Now, I don't completely agree with Kenny Omega and what he said about Shinsuke Nakamura. He might not even be talking about his time in NXT, but Nakamura's time in NXT was really, really good. I mean, that match with Sami Zayn, still to this day, it gives me chills. That was an eventful moment. And his title run, some of his matches with Joe were very good, So it hasn't all been bad for Nakamura in WWE. It's just been bad on the main roster because, like I said, they really sucked all the momentum from Nakamura and they made him feel like everyone else on the main roster. It's like they did not know what they were getting themselves into by calling this guy up. Everything that they did in NXT, they did the opposite. They gave this guy a live microphone. They put him in a feud with fucking Jinder Mahal. They didn't do anything with him. Feuds with Baron Corbin, Jinder Mahal, you know? We still haven't touched the AJ Styles situation, and that's when this whole Nakamura thing is going to take off. That's the right moment. That's the right story. That's the right opponent. All the Nakamura naysayers out there. When WWE gives those guys 25 minutes at WrestleMania to tear that house down, then you're going to see the true power of what I know is there. Nakamura has looked lazy. Nakamura has looked at times he did not even want to be there. And who could blame him when WWE is saddling him with garbage? I mean, who would want to work with Jinder Mahal? You come to WWE with aspirations of working with Daniel Bryan and guys like that, and then WWE puts you in the ring with Jinder Mahal, and you're losing clean to Jinder Mahal? Of course Nakamura is not going to be excited about that. Who would? His peers over in Japan are probably laughing. Look at what you got yourself into. Yeah, you might be making the money, but where's your dignity? They're ruining the King of Strong Style. Omega went on further to break down the WWE style and described it as soulless. And this is where I completely agree with him. Some people in WWE even need the steps and their footing in the ring choreographed. Now, that's just him kind of bragging that, you know, he is of the upper echelon type talent in the industry. But we all know when Kenny Omega goes to WWE, you think Kenny Omega is going to be doing fucking V-trigger knees and fucking dragon snap suplexes and fucking all this other shit that he does. Half of what you see, 60% of what you see in New Japan, in a New Japan ring when it comes to Kenny Omega, done. I think right now he's just kind of stamping his ground, stamping his mark. I don't need to be choreographed. I go in there and I do what the fuck I want, you know? So that's just him kind of asserting his dominance. Some people in WWE even need the steps and their footing to be choreographed. They have to pace their breathing before they even go through a match in the ring. When you're used to dealing with people who need that match management, who need to have that much choreography in their matches before they go out there and perform, then when a guy like Nakamura, who is this new age strong style, and a lot of that is based off emotion and feeling and fighting spirit, wrestles someone who needs marks on the ring so that he can get his footing right with a set of instructions, that's where Nakamura's style gets lost in translation. Everything starts to come across as soulless, if that makes any sense at all. He's right, it's true. Just look at what happened with Jinder Mahal. Obviously, they weren't ready for that match. Mahal wasn't ready. Nakamura's style suffered because Mahal was garbage. Still is garbage. Same thing with Baron Corbin. They didn't know what the fuck they were doing in there. The match had absolutely zero passion. Same thing with Mahal. Zero passion. When you got someone in there that knows Nakamura, that's wrestled Nakamura, that knows how to fucking wrestle, period, AJ Styles, then you'll see everything that Kenny Omega is talking about. Kenny Omega doesn't hold anything back, and certainly lived up to his reputation in this interview. Whether you agree with him or not, it's hard to argue that he doesn't know what he's talking about. He knows what he's talking about. But Kenny Omega, you know, they all want that WrestleMania moment. Kenny Omega's going to do what he has to do, and he's going to end up in WWE. Believe me. I honestly think Kenny Omega is the answer to what Vince McMahon needs. Nobody wants Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is not the chosen one. When Kenny Omega comes to the WWE and the people see Kenny Omega for what he really is, they will see their number one man staring them right in the face. The number one guy right now in WWE is not even in WWE. Well, he could be if they let fucking Daniel Bryan wrestle, and he was the number one guy before they forced him to retire, and CM Punk was the guy before that, but they drove him out and fired him on his wedding day. But Kenny Omega has all the makings of being the people. champion. And I am sticking to that. I really am. But it's tough to argue what Kenny Omega said. But when we see Nakamura versus AJ Styles, I think all of what Kenny Omega said is going to go right out the window, and we will see a new reborn version of Shinsuke Nakamura on SmackDown Live. Then it's the follow-up. You know, I don't mind Nakamura fighting Styles all year for the WWE Championship. It's been a very long time since we have a competitive nature of the WWE Championship in that type of atmosphere. Turn Bobby Roode heel. Have him feud with Nakamura over the title. I think WWE and SmackDown Live and the WWE Championship would be set with Styles, Nakamura, and Bobby Roode at the helm for the WWE Championship in the main event picture on SmackDown Live. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm hoping. And I think that's what would bring SmackDown Live in 2018 to prominence. Certainly more so than in 2017. That is off the script. Thank you guys so very much. I hope you enjoyed the video. I really had fun doing this video. There was a lot of good news. I felt good doing this video, this podcast today. So if you did enjoy it, hit that thumbs up. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Lots of good information, lots of good opinions, lots of good points in this video. Thumbs it up, and I will see you guys tomorrow with more news and rumors. We're going to have news on WWE banning more moves, more notably a finishing move that caused a serious injury this week. Brock Lesnar versus Kane will take place before the Royal Rumble. Woken Matt debuts a new theme during WWE's house show tour in Madison Square Garden. And a major SmackDown star turning heel. Who is it? We'll talk about it on tomorrow's Off the Script. Thank you guys so much. Follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206. Hit that thumbs up, and I will see you guys right back here on Saturday morning for more OTS. I'll talk to you later.